gaming industry changed a lot in the last 30 years. In this video, we'll talk about these changes and how they influence the profitability of games. The concept of information goods is essential to get a full understanding of this development. What is an information good? An information good is a type of commodity whose market value is derived from the information it contains. Typically, information goods are difficult to produce but cheap to reproduce. After production, most costs are sunk and cannot be recovered. Additional units can be produced at a constant low cost with no natural capacity limits for additional copies. This is why information markets cannot look like a traditional perfect competitive market, and that there are only two sustainable market structures. The dominant firm model, where a business aims for achieving cost leadership. The differentiated product market, where businesses add value to the raw information. But are games information goods? The first popular games were arcade videos and expensive large home console games. Because games were combined with large consoles, games were more of a material good. In the years after, home consoles and personal computers became popular for gaming, and the games were played from CDs, DVDs and downloadable files. The developments made games easy to reproduce. Production of modern games takes a lot of time and resources. The development of Grand Theft Auto 5, for example, costed $250 million and was in production for 4 years. But once developed, it is easy to produce and sell a copy of the game. So games are true information goods. But what does it mean for the gaming industry? Game developers must distinguish themselves from the competition by creating unique games. With the size of the current gaming industry, this can be quite difficult. This is why providers and developers of games are constantly trying to distinguish themselves by innovating their business models in order to gain a competitive advantage. Today we'll go in depth in two different platforms for games: digital stores and cloud gaming. We'll explain how these platforms enable game developers to sustain a competitive advantage. What are digital gaming stores? The last few years, a few big players started developing their own digital game stores. They're not selling any physical products, but only digital licenses of games. Next to the Xbox Live Store, the PlayStation Store and the Nintendo eShop, there's Steam. Steam is a game store for games that are playable on personal computers. This means that the player does not need a dedicated gaming console and that developers have a wider audience. Apart from buying and playing games, Steam is also a true gaming community and social media platform. Steam innovated gaming business models by its pricing structure. It allows multiple pricing methods, including one-time purchases, bundling, personalized promotions, in-app purchases and gifts. That way, game developers can achieve higher levels of revenue. An important advantage of owning a virtual store is that there are no capacity constraints. Steam is able to offer a huge collection of games. This is an example of a long-tail strategy. Steam sells a large number of different items, which each sell in relatively small quantities, in addition to selling large quantities of a small number of popular items. Game developers can also profit from Steam's community. They can communicate with the players on Steam and even get their assistance in the development of the game. Within a community, users can keep track of gaming progress and achievements. This locks the users in the Steam environment. A large weakness of Steam is that developers must pay a commission to Steam. They are also dependent on Steam, which creates a risk. Disadvantage of digital game stores is that the users lack the feeling of owning a physical game. What is cloud gaming? With cloud gaming, developers can reach an even wider audience than with Steam. With cloud gaming, the game is played from a server in the cloud. The player only needs to have a fast internet connection and the ability to play back high-definition video. Cloud gaming could be the future of gaming, as a lot of current players lack the hardware resources needed for the latest high-end multimedia games. Different providers of cloud gaming use different business models and pricing strategies. Many providers use subscription-based strategies, similar to streaming services Netflix and Spotify. Subscription is a form of aggregation across time. That makes the optimal price for subscriptions easier to predict than optimal price for single use. Versioning and group pricing strategies are also possible. Several plans, from budget to hardcore, could vary in options, games and pricing. With Goldilocks pricing, consumers can be influenced to maximize the revenue of developers. The biggest strength of cloud gaming is that developers can reach a wider audience, since cloud gaming does not require a dedicated gaming device. A weakness of cloud gaming is that the developer should provide all the heavy and expensive equipment, such as servers and processors, in order to be able to handle running the games on many computers at the same time. This increases the marginal cost of every new member of the platform compared to, for example, the extremely low marginal cost of Steam. Another weakness is that the player should always be connected to the internet in order to have access to the game. This involves a new party to the process of gaming. How do the strengths compare? With digital gaming stores, developers can reach a wide audience. But with cloud gaming, developers can reach an even wider audience. Digital stores allow for different pricing strategies. This is also a strength of cloud gaming, although the types of different pricing strategies are different. With digital game stores, developers can profit from the long tail strategy. Stores can be more than just stores and act as gaming communities. With cloud gaming, developers can profit from the mobile trend. Consumers can play games on all devices as long as they are connected to the internet. And how do the weaknesses compare? Steam receives part of the developer's revenue as payment for their use of the platform. With cloud gaming, developers must invest in cloud gaming technology or use the service of a third party. Also, the marginal costs per user are higher for cloud gaming because each extra user requires extra gaming servers. When gaming stores are down, developers cannot sell games. With cloud gaming, the gamers can expect that they can always play games. So there's a dependency on the cloud gaming technology. We predict that the revenue tail of games will get longer, as digital gaming stores are increasing in popularity and do not have any capacity constraints. Cloud gaming is something new to the market, but will be adopted in a high rate the coming years, due to server and processor technologies that are still improving. Netflix and Spotify have already shown to be very interesting to the world, and we expect this to happen for gaming as well. Games are more and more becoming information goods, as the importance of hardware decreases and the importance of the game itself is increasing. That is why in the future the focus of game developers should shift more and more to creating unique, differentiated games. This is promising for game developers and gamers alike. Game developers can focus on their core business and gamers get to enjoy even better games.